They say the sea has a way of humbling people, but in this case, it was the shore that taught Karen her biggest lesson. Imagine this. You're enjoying a perfect Saturday morning, the water's calm, the sun's warm on your back, and you're finally taking your boat out for the first time this season. You've waited months for this day, but just as you're untying the last line from the dock, you hear a shrill voice behind you screaming, "Hey! You can't take that boat, it's not yours!" You turn, and there she is. Sunglasses perched, on her head, hands on her hips, that all-too-familiar look of entitlement plastered on her face. You don't even know her, but she sure seems to think she knows you and your boat. That's when you realize this Saturday isn't going to be the relaxing day you planned. It all started earlier that week when I finally got clearance from my crew to take a personal day. I've been on the water for years, but lately my life's been nothing but paperwork, briefings, and meetings. I miss the salt in the air, the hum of the engine, and the freedom of open water. My boat, the Liberty Belle, had been sitting in the marina for months under a clean tarp. I'd given her a fresh polish, stocked the galley, and was ready for a simple cruise. No fanfare, no stress, just me and the horizon. The marina was busy that morning. Families were loading coolers, fishermen were sorting bait, and a few teenagers were already trying to impress their friends with clumsy knots. I gave a few nods, returned some smiles, and focused on getting the Liberty Belle ready. But I could feel eyes on me, not in the friendly, nice boat way, but in the lingering, suspicious way. At first I brushed it off. Marinas are full of people who like to watch others work. But when I turned around to grab a rope, I caught sight of a woman leaning against a dock post, arms crossed, glaring straight at me. She wasn't dressed for boating. No hat, no sunscreen, not even a pair of deck shoes. Instead, she wore a brightly patterned blouse, chunky jewelry, and a frown that could curdle milk. She looked like she had come here for one reason: confrontation. I went about my work, ignoring her. But ignoring people like her never works. By the time I started the engine, she was marching down the dock toward me, voice rising with every step. "Excuse me. Hey, what do you think you're doing?" I looked over my shoulder, calm as ever. "Taking my boat out. Beautiful day for it." Her eyes narrowed. "Your boat? That's funny because I've never seen you here before, and that boat belongs to Mr. Bennett. Everyone knows that." I had to suppress a laugh. "Ma'am, I assure you, this is my boat," she snorted. "Right. And I'm the Queen of England. You can't just walk into a marina and steal someone's property. I've been on the HOA board here for 5 years. I know everyone who owns a slip." And there it was. HOA. Suddenly, it all made sense. I tried to keep it polite. "This slip's been mine for 8 years. I've got the paperwork, title, and registration, but thank you for your concern." Apparently, that wasn't enough for her. She whipped out her phone, muttering something about the audacity and criminals these days, and started dialing. I could hear her speaking into the phone, her voice carrying over the gentle hum of my engine. "Yes, police? I'd like to report a theft in progress. Yes. At the marina. A man is stealing a boat. He's armed with, well, I don't know, but he looks dangerous." Dangerous? I was wearing a faded navy polo, cargo shorts, and boat shoes. I couldn't have looked more like a dad on vacation if I tried. By now, a small crowd had gathered. Dock workers, other boaters, even a couple of kids eating ice cream. Everyone was watching. I sighed, killed the engine, and leaned against the rail. If she wanted to call the cops, fine. This was about to get interesting. When the police boat pulled in minutes later, I could see her smug smile. She folded her arms, clearly expecting to watch me get cuffed and hauled away. What she didn't know was, these weren't just any officers. The patrol boat came to a stop beside my slip, and the two officers aboard didn't look tense or suspicious. They looked amused. One of them, Officer Daniels, grinned as soon as he saw me. "Well, well, if it isn't Captain Reynolds. What brings you down here on your day off?" Karen's smile evaporated. She glanced between us, confused. "Wait, Captain?" I gave a small shrug. "I'm the harbor patrol captain, ma'am. I oversee this marina and about 15 others along the coast." Her mouth fell open. You work for the police?" "Not just work for them," Officer Daniels chuckled. "He runs the department on the water. This is his boat." Karen's face turned a deep shade of red. She stammered, looking for a way out. "Well, I didn't know that. You just looked suspicious." The crowd was snickering now. I could see a few people filming. Karen's perfect control over the situation was gone, and she knew it. I stepped down onto the dock, keeping my tone calm but firm. "You accused me of theft. You called in a false report, and you interrupted my day off. You know what that means, don't you?" She swallowed hard. I'm sorry. It was just a misunderstanding." Daniels leaned on the rail. "Misunderstanding or not, ma'am? Filing a false report is serious business. We could write you up for it?" Her hands fluttered nervously. "No, please, I didn't mean any harm. I thought I was protecting the community." I studied her for a moment. Protecting the community is a noble thing. But it works better when you actually know the facts first. The other officer, a younger guy named Lopez, smirked. "Maybe next time, ma'am, you should try asking a question before dialing 911. The crowd chuckled. Karen muttered something about being late for an appointment and scurried off down the dock. As the officers pulled away, Daniels called out, "Enjoy your cruise, Captain. We'll keep an eye on things here." I started the engine again, the deep, steady rumble filling the air. The crowd slowly dispersed, but I could still feel the lingering satisfaction in the air. There's something universally satisfying about watching arrogance crumble. Out on the open water, the incident replayed in my head. Not because it had ruined my morning, on the contrary, it had made it more memorable, but it reminded me how quick people are to judge, to assume the worst, and to leap into action without knowing the truth. The sea teaches patience. You can't rush the tide, you can't command the wind, and you sure as hell can't make a storm disappear by yelling at it. People like Karen? They could use a lesson or two out here, where the only authority that matters is nature itself. As the marina faded into the distance, I set my course for open water, letting the sun and salt air wash away the annoyance. The Liberty Belle cut smoothly through the waves, her bow rising and falling with the rhythm of the ocean. And for the first time in a long while, I wasn't thinking about meetings, or paperwork, or who might be watching. I was just a man with his boat, exactly where he belonged. And somewhere back on shore, Karen was probably replaying the moment she realized she'd picked the wrong person to mess with.